Mark Harrison. I'm the founder of Callisto Grand. Today, it's my pleasure to meet and to get to know a little bit more about Claire Valencony, the Deputy COO at ESCA. Good afternoon, Claire.
Hello, Mark. Good to meet you.
And you as well. This year, I noticed that you celebrate 20 years at ESCA. How did it all start, and what's your route to where you are now?
Yeah, indeed, 20 years. It has been quite an amazing journey, to be honest. I've actually started at ESCA 20 years ago in marketing, working for the French subsidiary in the field marketing. But soon after that, I actually started working with partners. And then after that, I joined, actually I did not join, but I did take the management of a sales team, the small and medium business sales team. So I had 3 hats at the time. And after a while, when the position opened, I became the country manager for France. So it was a nice opportunity. I did that for 4 years, leading the French subsidiary based in Lyon. And after that, for personal reasons, the family decided to move to the US, and ESCA gave me the opportunity to also continue my journey with the company. So I actually worked outside of Boston for 4 years for the US subsidiary. I was in charge of growing the partner ecosystem for the US subsidiary. And at the end of those 4 years, I actually became the responsible for the coordination of the strategic alliances at a global level. I did that 2 years from Boston. And when I moved back to France in 2018, I continued doing the same position until this year, beginning of January, when I became the deputy COO for ESCA. So a nice journey. ESCA has given me a lot of opportunities to grow with the company. So it's really nice.
And living and working in the USA and Europe, would you have a preference, or obviously they're very different, right? Would you say you had a personal preference?
It's hard to say, to be honest. I see value in both situations. What I like in the US is that people are really open-minded. They do love to tackle new ideas, try new projects or new initiatives, which I find really nice when I work with my US colleagues. The hardest part, though, was I was actually based out of Boston, as I said, so I was completely remote. The subsidiary is in Madison, in Wisconsin. So being remote 100% is not as nice as being able to come into an office. So what I like being back in Lyon now is that I'm actually where the headquarters of the company is located. So it's an opportunity for me to get to see my colleagues on a regular basis. And, you share ideas, or you share debrief or conversations around a coffee, and you actually do learn a lot informally. And that was something that I was missing when I was in the US.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for being together, isn't there? Rather than like
Agreed.
we are now, for example.
Yes, exactly.
What's your personal objective from your employer?
I would say maybe keep the momentum going. I really feel like we are having amazing years. We've been having very good years for more than 15 years now, 2-digit growth most of the time. And it's really a great momentum. It's mainly organic growth. So that is something that I feel we feel proud of that, to be honest. Even though we've done some small acquisitions, we do grow organically. Year after year, profitable company. So what I wish is that we manage to continue that growth, doing as great as we are doing right now over many coming years.
Okay, and as you said, with an eye to the coming years, how do you see the economic landscape in the next couple of years?
That's a tricky question because it's hard to guess. People are concerned, that's for sure. We are all concerned. The economic landscape is not amazing right now. We have a lot of inflation. We see an increase of interest rates. So all these two things usually bring, economists say actually that it does bring to recession most of the time. So we've been talking about recession. I don't really think we can say we are in a recession, to be honest. And from the experience we've had with the COVID crisis, for us, for instance, for healthcare, when the crisis started, we had like few months that were really difficult, like every company, I would say, and everyone actually got difficult situations. But after that, I think companies realized that in order to continue to grow, to continue to be in business, they needed actually to optimize their processes, use tools that allowed them to work remotely, do things electronically, become more productive. And for us, it was an opportunity for growth. So it's hard for me to say what will be the next 2 years in terms of the economy. I think we see a slow in the economy right now, but not a recession. So to be honest, I'm staying optimistic. I think there's good things that could happen still for healthcare and for us. So I'm positive.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from the last recession that seem to be being learned as well. So I think you're right to be optimistic. And that kind of follows on nicely to the next point I wanted to explore. We talked about the next couple of years from an economic point of view. Extending beyond that, what do you see for yourself, let's say in the next 5 years?
So as I said at the beginning, I've just started a new position. So for myself, I would like to succeed in this new role. I'm now in charge of all subsidiaries except the US. So for me, my challenge is to help those subsidiaries grow at a good pace and everywhere in the world. And right now, probably we see growth higher in some subsidiaries compared to some others. So for me, in the next 5 years, I would like to grow some of the subsidiaries where there is a lot of potential. In terms of the ecosystem, I think we have things coming up, opportunities probably for us. Things like, for instance, the B2B invoicing compliance is for healthcare an opportunity. It could be a challenge as well, because you have to be ready and everyone needs to be ready at the same time. So it's potentially a challenge for everyone, but it's an opportunity as well. I would say growing our partner ecosystem as well. I've worked a lot, as I said previously, on partners in my past experiences, and this is a strategic angle for the company right now. And I would love to see the revenue done with our partners growing to a nice percentage, so that we can rely on our partners for implementing our solutions, but we can also rely on our partners for reselling our solutions, referring leads and opportunities. It's a way, I think it's another way of accelerating growth by using external companies, channel and partners. And for me, this would be a nice way of growing in the next 5 years as well.
We said at the beginning of our interview here that you've been with the company 20 years. And also through talking to some of your colleagues, we've identified that a lot of other people have been there in excess of 10 years as well. So maybe two things on that. One, do you think that's very much a part of the culture? And I guess that would also very much form part of the platform for the growth and so on that you were talking about to come in the next 5 years or so.
Definitely. So great place to work is something we say often at healthcare. I believe this is one of the reasons why people are staying. You're right. A lot of people have been there for a long time, many years. Sometimes we start a meeting and everyone around the table has been at healthcare for more than 10 years, for instance. So it's nice. It proves that people are happy working at healthcare and for healthcare. I think it helps when you grow. It helps when you are in a company that is profitable. It feels nice to work within healthcare, to be honest. And I think the average of the average time of people at healthcare is more than 6 years. So I think it's quite an impressive number, and we should be proud of that because people like to stay and they are here for a while when they join the company.
It is, and in this age of quiet quitting and in the shared service center world, the average employee is in a company like something like 3 years. So to hear that is very refreshing and is to be congratulated. So whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it. It's a very positive thing. You personally, how do you relax and what do you do when you're you're not deputy COO?
Good question. One thing that I need to do and that I love doing is exercising and do sports. So I do different things. I was born in the Alps, so I love skiing, but you don't ski all year long. So that's one thing I really like. But otherwise, I've done one triathlon and I would like to do more. So I do bike a lot, swim and run. Those are the three activities I like doing. So in order to like keep up with the pace and the amount of work and everything happening in the professional life, I really need to keep some time for myself in order to be able to do those activities. So that is really important. And I guess the other thing is the family. Family for me is very important as well. And 3 kids, I'm proud of my kids. I'm supporting them on a daily basis, even though they have been some of them have left home already, but they still need us. And for me, those 2 things, outside sports activities and the kids and the family, are what I do when I want to relax and change my mind.
Often these days, particularly with the working from home, which has now become sort of the common thing, the lines between work and personal lives get very blurred, don't they? So to do what you're doing, to be doing triathlons and training and balancing your personal life, your family and so on, is there a discipline around that? Do you sort of say, right, these days at this time I'm going to do this, and unless it's something huge, you do that? Is that how you have to separate the things?
Yeah, well, you have to put some discipline. You are completely right there. I completely agree with you. So I play a lot with my calendar, to be honest, but I block time for myself, because otherwise at some point you just explode if you just work. So you need to do things outside of work. And so I do organize my calendar so that I have enough time for that during the week.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important message to everybody, to say that, like you said, you've got to block your calendar, and if you say you're going to go running or cycling from 6 till 8, that's what you're going to do, right? And nothing really gets in the way. And we do allow, there's too much fluidity, I think, in our diaries, and I think that's a very nice place to kind of wind up our interview, and that is very inspiring. I think everything you said about working for a successful company, being there a long time, and your personal life, I think a lot of people are going to take a lot from what we've discussed this afternoon. So Claire, really, it's been a real pleasure talking to you and meeting you, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks a lot.